Forced retirement. About your retirement plan. Princess Celestia, the soon-to-be former ruler of Equestria, had faced many foes in her lifetime. King Sombra, Chrysalis, and even Discord had eventually fallen in line when push came to shove. She'd watched empires rise and fall, chaos give way to order and hope, and her kingdom had become a beacon of prosperity under her rule. All of that paled in comparison to what had to come next as she sat alone in her royal office. A lump formed in her throat as a knock came from the door. She swallowed it and spoke.
Enter. You summoned me, sister?
Luna stepped into the room and smiled that brilliant smile that seemed to always ignite the constant ball of guilt in Celestia's gut. It had been years since Luna's return, though, so surely Luna had forgiven her by now. Though, it didn't make this any easier.
Have a seat, sister.
Celestia nodded her head towards the plush chair on the opposite side of the mahogany desk.
My, some pony is serious this morning.
Luna let a small chuckle escape her.
Is this about me finishing off the coffee again?
Celestia paused, carefully weighing her next words and speaking deliberately.
This is in regards to my retirement, actually.
Luna slid into the chair across from Celestia and bit back a grin.
I see. So I assume you've picked out a replacement?
Luna asked coyly.
Some pony with years of experience in handling dire situations and core trauma? I have.
Celestia started.
Well, I must admit, you did leave pretty big horseshoes to fill. I'll have my— I chose Twilight. Work cut out.
Luna trailed off, letting the sentence hang in the air as her face fell.
I'm sorry, sister, but did you say young Twilight? I did. Forgive me for asking, but don't you think there's a certain royal pony who could step up into the role of leading Equestria? About that.
Now came the hard part.
After careful consideration of your duties and role in Equestria, I've come to the decision that we're going to have to let you go.
Luna blinked at Celestia, her expression flat.
I'm sorry, Celestia, but I have surely misheard you. It sounds as though you're trying to fire me from being a princess. That is what I'm telling you, Luna. Surely this is a jest.
Luna scoffed.
That one earth pony with the traveling shove is just going to jump out soon and say, "Haha, thou'th been pranketh."
Luna stood and began searching the room, presumably for hidden cameras.
Come out, Bastion Suture. We have figured out your tricks already.
Celestia let out a long sigh.
Luna, please, stop. Bastion Suture has been dead almost 1,000 years. Now I know you jest.
Luna shot back, forcing a laugh.
Luna, I took you to see one of his shows when we were fillies. Please have a seat and be rational about this. Rational?
Luna growled at her sister.
Rational is appointing your sister your successor when you step down, not some upstart young noble you've developed a soft spot for. As of now.
Celestia continued without even acknowledging Luna's outburst.
Regarding your 401k, I'm afraid you haven't put in the required number of hours per year for you to have earned it, so unfortunately, we aren't able to release those funds to you.
Luna paused and eyed her sister.
What is this 401k you speak of? I don't recall purchasing an island. 401k.
Celestia corrected.
It's a retirement package. But you said that you were firing me. That's correct, dear sister.
Celestia was beginning to regret handling this situation on her own.
Though I prefer the term forced retirement. Oh, because that's so much better than being a fired princess.
Luna said, narrowing her eyes at her sister.
What do you do with your free time, Princess Luna? Ponies will ask me. Nothing, I say. I'm forcibly retired. I apologize for the inconvenience, sister, but you haven't worked enough hours to qualify.
Celestia picked up a stack of papers with her magic and shuffled through them until she found the one that she was looking for.
Here, this shows the number of hours that you've put in since your return.
Celestia tapped a hoof to the paper where she wanted Luna to look.
And this is the average that you need to qualify.
Luna stepped closer and peered at the paper.
It says I've put in almost 100,000 hours since I returned. That's correct.
Celestia perked up. Maybe Luna could see reason after all.
You technically work all day.
Celestia watched her sister's gaze moving over the paper and waited for Luna to respond.
Tell me, sister, how is it that I'm supposed to put in 1,000,000 hours of work in the decade or so since my return?
Luna's voice was cold.
Actually, you weren't.
Celestia felt a lump forming in her throat again.
Unfortunately, I may have accidentally signed a law that considered every year that you were designated as a royal princess to be a work year. I don't see how that's a And you may have been considered a royal sister even while you were on the moon.
Luna's brow furrowed as she glanced upwards, presumably to run the numbers in her head.
Celestia? Yes, Luna? That is by far the dumbest law you've ever signed. Why would you do something like that? Luna, please, let me finish. Finish? I think you should have been finished ruling long ago if you were so incompetent as to require work from me while I was imprisoned on the moon!
Luna snapped.
Were I a different mayor, I would have...
Celestia let out a long sigh and let Luna's rant fade into the background. She had expected this sort of resistance from her sister. It was the sort of thing that Luna had every right to be upset about. Being forced to abdicate the throne without any sort of monetary package in place would ruin most of the nobility. Thankfully, she and Luna were not most nobility. Celestia calmly fished out another small stack of papers from her desk and placed them in front of Luna.
And if you think I'll step down so that Twilight flipping Sparkle can take over what you've got— What is this?
Luna asked, as she finally noticed Celestia's smug smile in the new papers in front of her.
That is your bank account statement.
Luna's eyes started widening as she read, finally taking her seat again.
Part of the law requires us to be considered working while we are considered princesses, also meaning a royal account. One with a royal interest rate, if you catch my drift.
Celestia's smile widened. She probably should have led with this part.
That is quite a few zeros,
Luna said, flipping to the next page.
A lot of zeros. And it's already all yours.
Celestia reminded her gently.
So, you mentioned something about retiring with you? I did. You know, I've always said that Twilight was a lovely choice for a successor.
Luna paused for a fraction of a second as a grin slowly spread across her face.
We should go on a vacation. I hear 401k is lovely this time of year.
I have a feeling that if your country were to be following equestrian laws, or at least some certain ones, they'd either be completely blessed or absolutely fucked. Either way, thankfully that's not going to be happening, so let's get on to the law-abiding donators. Top donator, Dash of Evergreen, Peter Coulthard, dospo, RuneScythe9852, CourierCruz CI, Delta Omega, Ryanny Dragonwolf, Gagi, Secret Moon, Tallrascha, The Toilet Snake, SoulDragon, Starlight Glimmer, Squiddy Boy, David D. Sanchez, Trey, Dak Britton, Joe Piercy, Alex F., Rainbow Dash, James Dalton, Teal K. Anderson, and TV Killer. Thank you all very much for watching this video. Live life to the fullest, and get that 401k, baby.